You know what? There's such great potential, and I know this from experience. When you have people who are at a distance who are watching you just to see what you're doing. And just like I've said plenty of times, what I post on social media is not the totality of my life. And who I choose to spend my energy with and my time with is precious for me. And when people really look at the reality of what life is and what life means, who you connect with or the activities within your life is not life in its totality. The reason why the song that I mentioned, in the lyrics, life has to do with breath. There was no existence of humanity. And that's the reason why I choose not to go extra spiritual. Until there was breath. There are a lot of people who are involved in a lot of activities. I have a lot of relatives. And believe me, literally, I have a lot of family, friends, connections already. Enough where I could literally have an activity to attend every weekend if every single person that I knew or just the relatives I had invited me somewhere every weekend or every day, whatever. But ultimately, it has to do with what we do with the life that we were given, the life force we are given. And what's interesting about life is it's not just a matter of activities. Now, it's a part of our leisure and how we utilize our life. But our life has to do with the literal life source, breath we are given, and then what we do with it in order to transform the universe we are living in. Literally. Now, all of the perspectives and truths that people create or live according to are all based on these narratives or scripts, I like to call them, passed on from person to person, generation to generation. And a lot of times people are a lot more influenced by culture than they like to admit. Again, I'm not going to say people shouldn't show up with consideration of the culture at particular points in time, but then there's some people whom are bold enough to challenge the scripts of the culture and will purposefully disrupt what the culture is saying, the way things should happen or should look, for the sake of creating a new script. People see my pictures. Yeah, the rock weaves every day. Makeup every day. But a lot of times people on social media are folks who are utilizing the glam squad. Or they are the glam squad. Just like I said, a lot of times foundationally who a person is has greater value than what they're wearing from my perspective. Who a person is, what they have to bring from within has greater value than what's on them. I don't care if you're wearing Louis Vuitton, Fendi, Valentino, Chanel, whatever label you want to mention. what you have here, what you have in your heart, is of greater value than what's here. We live in a world that is objectified so many people to the point where what matters and what most finances and streams of income and higher contractual numbers are given to contextual situations where people are showing up other than who they are in real life, or showing up objectively in order to display someone else's idea. Think about it. The next time you drop off your children to go to school, the person who watches, teaches, feeds mentally and emotionally your children on a daily basis makes fractions in comparison to the football game, baseball game, basketball game, show that you see on Broadway. I'm not saying entertainment doesn't have its place. Again, those situations where people are able to create scenarios and situations that might mimic life, but provide space and opportunity for entertainment, but then also to reconsider a script. At the same time, there's little value that's placed on actually making a difference in people's everyday lives. And people tell people to focus on reality, but they choose what is not reality. Do you hear how contradictory that is? Yeah, live, enjoy your life, but we'd rather choose the people who do not represent reality than the people who actually are living the everyday lives. See, that's the reason why when I was a chair for advocacy, we were spending a lot of time with representatives, and I spent time trying to understand their stories, because a lot of times those who are the legislators have not lived the experiences of the people whom they're trying to create laws for. And we would call that the ivory tower. And so sometimes when people are in this ivory tower and have yet to experience the realities of what the everyday people are experiencing, their decisions regarding particular laws and the nuances of the laws for everyday people, families, minorities, are very skewed. Why? Because they don't know the lived experience of the people that they're trying to make decisions for. So my suggestion is, step to the side if you're not going to choose to have real experiences or real interactions with the real people, or choose to delve into the reality of the experiences that people are having to at least work to understand, which is the reason why culture matters. Culture is just not a matter of a group of people who, if they look the same or have similar ancestry, but it's about lived experiences, even based upon regions. So, understand people, the reality of people, not just the shell of people, not just the superficiality of people, because the reality is what people are focusing on as far as the superficiality of people, that is easily changed. But the heart and the mind of a person actually requires time and depth to shift. So when you talk about life, understand what life means. Have a